everybody, and welcome to the Fandom Flux podcast, episode 51. Today is Tuesday, the 9th of September. 1 year ago, to the day, the first episode of the Fandom Flux podcast was released, containing myself, and Ethan, and Slicer, and Chrissa. Several people, most of whom didn't actually know each other at all.
Pretty much.
It was kind of shit and awkward.
It was pretty awkward, yeah.
Yeah.
I listened to it. It was pretty awkward.
Yeah. But we stuck with it, and now here we are 1 year later, and we have about 100 people listening to this regularly-ish, I guess.
I like that.
Got like
Pretty
96 subscribers.
Yeah. 98, I think, currently.
Oh man, it increased by 2.
I think so.
Oh.
Yeah, so not too shabby. I mean, you get 100 people listening to you every week for like a year. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Can't complain about it. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of awesome. I hadn't even realized. But now I know, so I will never shut up about it. Alright. So, we don't actually have anything special planned for this episode, so we're just gonna fucking do what we do when we do what are we doing. So what are we doing? Slicer.
Is it actually to the day? And to be fair, I mean,
To
what
the
are
day.
you supposed to do for an anniversary of the podcast exactly? Have cake? I can have cake later.
Make an episode of a podcast? Yeah.
Right.
I want cake.
So,
You
fucking...
probably have cake.
What did you do this week, Slicer?
First off, on the Wednesday of last week, yes, last week, because we're recording a little late,
A little bit.
I went for that job interview and did alright. There's the 10 codes I needed to memorize, and I did terrible on those. I got like 4 of them out of 26. Next one was map test. That was easy. Got every question right on that one. Easy. And after that was just like a common sense test. And there, aside from a few questions that were like, okay, does the FCC have the right to what does the FCC have the right to do if you're using the radio for personal chatter? And I don't know that. That was nowhere in the material I was given, so yeah. I don't know. I put no I forget what I put, but it was multiple choice.
Fine
so,
you, I guess?
Yeah.
I imagine fine you.
Hold you to the ground and put a gun to your head.
I think you're overestimating the authority of the FCC.
You're not allowed to use the radio for personal chatter. You're going to prison. You have the right to remain silent and not do personal chatter.
There are things we could probably say at this juncture. You know what we're not gonna do?
Say those things?
We're not gonna say those things. So...
Right. Moving right
Yeah.
along, there was an audio
Yeah.
test next where they just listed a bunch of people's names, their numbers, and their addresses, and you had to write them down as they were played. They had a tape recorder. Seriously, they had a tape recorder that played this. That's pretty low tech, but I guess it gets the job done. That one I did pretty terrible on, because I'm not used to, I didn't know where one name started and one name ended. So that, and then they moved on to another audio test where it was letters, numbers, and colors all said at the same time. It was like the ultimate test of can you keep up, and I actually did really good on that one. Of course, that was probably because I just completely forsaked numbers or letters and just did numbers and colors. So I got like 80% of them on that one. So I'm hoping to hear back. They said they'd get a letter to us early this week, but I haven't got anything in the mail yet. But it's also Tuesday, so yeah. Aside from that, I've actually been reading a bit, and I thought I'd give a little review for the Birth by Fire fic that you recommended. The one where Shiro wakes up in the fire well, not wakes up, but he's rescued by the Kyrie, I think is how you pronounce his name.
Kyrie Kotomina, yeah.
Yeah, him.
The priest.
His exact thought was, maybe fire exists to burn things like this. I thought that was a joke, but that's a real line.
Yeah.
Oh man, I really like this fic. It had a lot of really funny moments, but it did one thing that I just dislike, and it was Rin summons Archer, but he's not Archer in this. He's actually Avenger, but same thing. It's pretty obviously future Shiro, and he's the future version of the Shiro from that fic. So he's used fire and stuff like that, and that irks me, because then what's the point in present day Shiro? He's just an underpowered version of that. At least, to the fic's credit though, they're really different personality wise. So, yeah. One is clearly crazy, and the other one is also crazy, but in a different way.
Yeah. So, I've been getting a couple PMs from a listener, Twilight the Dragon or something, I think he's called. And he's recommended some fics. I know nothing about them. They're fandoms that I have no idea about, like Love Hina, I think was one. Fucking things like that, I don't know. So, but he pointed out that there's actually a sequel fic, sort of, to that, called Soul of Fire, I think it is. Except it's not really a sequel. He wrote that one first, and it was basically an alternate version of Gabriel Blessing's In Flight. But if it was the Kirei version of Shiro.
I might need to check that out, actually.
See, he sort of did the sequel thing first. He jumped the gun on the concept a little bit. But it's a funny thing. You can actually see how much he has improved as a writer between the two fics, because you read the first chapter, well, the first couple of chapters of Soul of Fire, and compare them to the first couple of chapters of Birth by Fire. There's a big difference, and it's a little bit jarring, so I couldn't get very far in that fic, unfortunately. So, thanks for the recommendation, Twilight, whatever your name was. I'm sorry, I can't remember it off the top of my head. But, I wasn't much of a fan of that one. I preferred the first one. Plus, it spoils the crap out of the first one, so...
I might need to avoid it then, because of the spoiler thing. I wouldn't mind the consistency or even the quality, I don't care. But it's the spoilers that kill it for me. Oh well. Two last things. One, I tried a boxing character in Dark Souls 2, and fuck that. It's just a lower powered, shorter range version of curved swords. And yes, I get the joke now.
You looked it up then?
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so it's just that. You're arguably about the same speed, although your first attack is slightly faster, so you can, if you're trading damage with somebody, you can usually get the attack first and stun them. Just irritating as hell to fight, but eh. But yeah, that character's gone now. Boxer McGee was never loved and never will be.
Did you actually name him McGee?
He was Boxer McGee.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I name all my characters after what weapons they use. I'm running a sword and shield guy called Sword and Board right now.
What a horrible existence that must be.
Yeah. I'm not exactly creative. And lastly...
No, Boxer McGee is pretty creative. I'll give you... I like that name. It's a good name.
I guess. What the hell? Oh, whoops. Still have my download manager open. I also made this for our Castle Crashers Let's Play.
Oh, yeah, you did. I remember this thing.
Uh-oh. What am I about to look? Okay.
It's a cover image. It's not porn.
Okay.
Not right now.
What do you mean, not right now?
I mean, I can
Right
slap
now.
a few penises on there if you want, but...
Yeah. I remember seeing that when you first showed it to me. That was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I suggest people look at that image right now, like pause the podcast and go look at that, because it's pretty cool and we're going to be talking about it for a couple of minutes. And go. And I very much like the fact that I'm swinging at nothing. That was my suggestion
Yeah,
for what
it
my
was a good
character
idea,
should
and
be
I
doing.
enjoyed it. Implementation was kind
It's
of a
just-
pain in the ass,
There's
but
just a pile of bodies right near where me and Slicer are.
Yeah, on your side is a pile of bodies. You and Slicer killed dozens of people. Then me and Ken are trying to kill one dude. But at least Ken's facing the right direction, so you know.
I
Yeah,
would be offended, but at least they have me going after one of the appropriate barbarians instead of
Yeah.
being the guy swinging at nothing. So.
Yeah. Or attacking one of us.
Yeah. I very much like that image. Thank you for doing that, Slicer. That's probably going to go up on the next Castle Crashes thing.
Know anything or see anything interesting about your guys, Zero?
Remember in Castle Crashes when I killed every single one of you? Good times.
Well, I gave you Sonic's sword from Sonic and the Black Knight, so I get the last
Yeah.
laugh.
I know. I noticed. I didn't want you to bring it up though.
That was the entire
Question
point of
mark
giving
over
it
the
to you,
dude's
though, was
head.
to hear your reaction, and you just ruined it.
No. Okay, I'll tell the truth. I didn't notice at first, and then you said it, and then I was like, oh. I am disappointed.
That
This
made
is
it
like-
worth it.
There's a large amount of sadness in me right now, but mostly disappoint. Mostly disappoint.
See, Slicer, he's not angry. He's just disappointed.
Yeah, I didn't expect anger
Disappointed!
from Zero. Come on, really?
I mean, I would be angry, but it was... You put so much effort into it.
He did put a lot of effort into trolling you, yes, it's true.
So I can't be angry, but I am disappointed.
Now I'm just,
that-
now I feel guilty. Ugh.
uh,
It sucks.
and this is how I counterattack.
Anything else, Slicer?
No. Just move on.
Okay.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't really feel anything about that song of the Black
Yeah.
Knight Sword. It's fine. I am an actor.
Right. That is my
Sure.
week, though. That's it.
Ken?
Alright, first of all, I've watched the Let's Plays for GTA 5 done by Rooster Teeth.
Yeah,
And
good
that,
stuff.
That made me want to play Grand Theft Auto 5 again, which I did. Pretty much
Yep.
all week long. A lot of it. And made me desperately want to do a Let's Play like that of our own, but we can never do that, which makes me sad inside.
We probably will be able to... They'll have servers that can probably handle that. International games. When they release it on PC.
Yeah, it's coming out on PC.
Mm.
Don't worry.
But then I gotta re-earn all my stuff back, which is really, in the grand scheme of things, isn't that much because
Yeah, we could do it together. We could be bros.
You're worried
Yeah,
about
and hopefully
Chivos, really?
I want money to buy shit
Oh, okay,
because
that's
shit is
more valid
expensive in that
concern.
game. I right now, after playing forever, and this is after getting like the fucking they gave you money.
Yeah,
Last
they gave you,
year.
what, $500,000
Yeah,
or
they
something?
gave us $500,000 like sometime last year. I am back down to $150,000. I need a helicopter.
How much is the
Can't get a
helicopter?
The
lot.
cheapest one is $780,000. I'm
Alrighty.
not even close. I'm not gonna get anywhere near that. Doing these missions.
I believe in you. You can do it, Kenshi.
Okay, here's the thing. To get $10,000 on most of these missions, you have to, or at least playing the ones that you can take by yourself, you have to be doing it on hard, and you have to make sure it's a very difficult mission in the first place.
You're the hero that we all deserve, Kenshi.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he, though?
No, I'm more like the guy that steals a tanker full of gasoline that you all deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old Kenshi.
I think they openly admit in the Rooster Teeth, the Achievement Hunter stuff, that they pretty much just buy money.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
they-
not
They're
doing
not
that.
even hiding it anymore.
I
Yeah.
thought about doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not dropping that much. I'm not dropping $20 just to get like fucking $250,000 in the game.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
For us, yeah. For them, they kind of need that.
The amount of money that they go through, yeah.
I mean, look at Gavin. He's constantly being mugged. He would never have any money.
I'm so glad that became a running joke.
I know.
The amount of times he's got thrown out of planes by a fucking mugger.
Anyway,
I think
yeah.
at one point a mugger got mugged because they were both trying to mug Gavin at the same
I
time.
think it was a hitman and a mugger went at it in his
Yeah.
vehicle.
Uh,
Uh,
Yeah.
Alright, and let's see. Other than that, oh, I am also hungover today.
yeah, he is.
Very hungover today.
Because he's a dumbass.
No, it was a celebration.
Yes, he was celebrating the anniversary of the Fandom Flux podcast.
Yeah.
Totally. With people that have no idea what that is in
Yeah.
my hometown. You know,
Yeah.
just because it's a name that resonates throughout the ages.
Damn right it does.
So I got super drunk, and now I'm hungover because there's no food in my house and no drink in my house, and
There's water.
God damn it! Enough with the water. I'm drinking water. I'm flushing out my system with water, and it's annoying. I want something with taste and flavor.
You could take some lemon,
I
Or
have
take
something
the-
with taste and flavor. It's called Amp, and it's kind of gross.
or take that apple, that one apple you have, and then stick it in your water.
Yeah. That's a good plan.
It's a bottle.
Put it in a cup.
Yeah.
Cups
plan.
are for chumps.
Well,
Everything's bottled now.
when you drink bottled water, most bottled water comes from California. So you're robbing my state of water.
Well, then your state should be selling your water to other places outside of your state.
People are stealing our water and selling it.
Yeah,
It's
I'm with
true.
Ken on this one. You should probably stop taking your own water. Seems kind of stupid.
It's not like we take our own water. It's companies come and take our water and
No,
sell it.
well, fair enough.
Well, do something about it.
I can't.
Yes, you can. One man can make a difference.
Oh.
Besides, you live like on the coast and stuff. You have lots of water. It's all right there.
Yeah, go ahead and drink some of that seawater. Heard it's good for you.
Yeah, totally do that. Don't do that, by the way,
Don't.
audience. Don't drink seawater. It's a really bad idea. You shouldn't do that.
I know. It's kind of one of the worst things that you can do when you're talking about drinking water, aside from drinking water in a foreign country.
Which foreign country?
Any one that doesn't have water purifiers.
Any third world country. Pick
yeah,
one.
basically. Any third world country. I mean, even freaking Mexico.
Especially
Drink water in
Mexico.
Mexico.
God.
Yeah, Mexico's kind of famous for that, I think.
Their water is
Yeah, it is.
tequila. There's
All of their pure.
that's what you drink in Mexico. You drink tequila. You don't drink the water.
I just bumped my entire table. Alright, continuing on.
Ken,
Yeah.
anything else?
Pretty much no. Oh yeah. Also, football started up. Yay! And all three of my fantasy teams won this week, so pretty excited about that.
Also, yay, I guess. Sports ball stuff.
You don't care. Yeah, you don't care.
Not at all.
This is the
I care a
Fandom
little
Flux. This is Fandom Flux, okay? It's not just other stuff. It's all sorts of stuff that you can be a fan of.
Yeah.
fair enough.
Even if I'm the only one that is.
Football. I mean, gridiron.
I believe in
Fake football.
I believe in the Cowboys.
Yeah, you
Football.
shouldn't. You shouldn't.
I shouldn't. I really shouldn't. They only destroy my hopes and dreams every time. But I believe
Speaking
in
of-
them.
Speaking of football, Casey, you were watching something yesterday, right? What-
I was.
What game? Or did you?
No.
Yeah, you need to see. I mean, I don't know if you have time to Google this. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Google, what's his name? God, I wish I fucking knew what it was. Or knew it off the top of my head. One sec, give me a sec. It was the greatest thing that happened on Sunday, as far as I'm concerned. It's like someone was running the ball, someone on the Steelers team. Antonio Brown, he was running back a punt, and he basically tried to hurdle over the punter who was trying to tackle him and stop him. Basically drop kicked him in the face. It was the greatest thing ever.
Oh. Well, they wear helmets, so, you know, it's
It
perfectly
looked,
safe.
it looked incredible.
Okay, I might have to Google that at some point.
Hold on, I think I have a vine of it.
Oh god, okay.
I think I have a
Fucking-
vine of it. It was incredible.
Okay, Antonio Brown dropkick is gonna be the link. I'm gonna fucking watch this right now. Okay. Literally just planted a foot in his face. It's great.
All right. I need
And
to see
I was
this.
at work.
Yes. I just watched it. Yes. That's how you do it, son.
I was at work all day, and the lady who does sports for us for like the night shows on the weekends, I tried to get her so hard to put that highlight in the sports, but she wouldn't do it, and I'm sad.
Yeah, that's lame. Should have done that. Very disappointed that they didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. Yeah, he just stepped right over him.
Yep. God, you gotta be tough in football, otherwise they're just gonna walk all over him. God.
Sometimes they get a running start.
That punter was just a stepping stone for Antonio Brown's fame.
Uh,
All right, and yeah,
bad
that's all I got.
puns.
That's all I got for you this week.
Okay, I'll go next because Zero's probably gonna be a while because he was at a con and stuff.
We can have another
So,
panel about his or topic, I suppose.
it depends on how much he has. Hmm.
I can
That-
just talk real quickly about it. We don't need to turn into a big thing, I don't think.
Ah, all right.
You better have photos.
I don't. My camera on my phone is all messed up. I had so my brother took some photos. I have to have him send those to me though.
That works. Also, I completely forgot about this, but all the photos that I took, as opposed to my brother, I have the lower dollar camera. I forgot to actually share, so I'll be linking those in a second.
Okay. I'll make a note of slices, con photos, Redux. Alright. So, my week. It finally happened. We finally got a copyright claim on one of our videos.
Yay! Well, not so yay, but I
Yay.
mean, we're growing up.
Yeah, well, we just got caught by fucking YouTube content ID match bullshit. Fucking rubbish. Yeah, so we got a copyright claim on Speedrunners Part 1 from Studio 713. They are a music company. Surprise, surprise.
An actual music company or a music company? I'm
They're
finger
a-
quoting here.
Music company, they make music, I believe. Like, actually make it, not, record executive bullshit kind of thing.
Ah,
Yeah. So, I assume they're the music company that made the Speedrunners music. I'm guessing. I haven't really researched it all that much. But I let the content thing go because once again, we have made like $5 in the past 3 months. It's not worth fighting over at this point. So, yeah, coincidentally, I did look up who they were, and it turns out they have a YouTube channel. Guess what it's called?
what's that?
Flux TV.
Of course.
Huh.
Of course.
Wow. All right.
Sure.
That's quite a coincidence.
Maybe that's more what they were going after for.
I don't know. Maybe that's why. Maybe it has nothing to do with music. Maybe it just got called up on, hey, similar name thing. Maybe I don't know. Who knows? The YouTube content ID thing is such bullshit and makes no sense. It's on record long time that it's completely useless. But yeah, that happened. So, consequence of that is we'll be definitely starting Patreon stuff soon. So if anyone feels particularly generous and wants to help support the podcast, it would be very much appreciated. And at the very minimum of anything we get from donations, just having the Patreon up for people to donate to, we will be removing ads entirely from all of our YouTube videos. We're never going to do that again. Unless we get suddenly and inexplicably famous and popular, in which case it might actually be worthwhile to do the advertising thing. But
At this point, it's just a huge inconvenience for everyone, pretty much.
it's an inconvenience for the viewers. It's just not worth it. No one gets anything out of it, not even the advertisers. So we're just not going to bother. And just, if people want to help support us, that's amazing and we really appreciate it. If not, that's fine. We'll just keep doing it anyway. And we'll try and work in some bonuses for anyone that feels particularly generous and wants to donate something a little bit extra. That's, that would be very nice, and we'll try to give back and,
We appreciate
worthwhile for
ideas,
you.
by the way, for that. We're not really a little stumped on what to do.
Well, we have some ideas, and we're probably going to implement most of them. But, if anyone has any suggestions for anything they would particularly want us to do, I don't know. Go ahead, send them to us, and we'll see if we can work anything in. What else? The Streamy Awards were this weekend, which is basically online video awards, which should probably be rebranded as the YouTube Awards, because pretty much anyone that doesn't work on YouTube was snubbed rather royally. Yeah. I don't think anyone that didn't have a YouTube channel was nominated for anything at all.
Yeah, it's kind of biased towards YouTube stuff, but I mean, it's to be expected, I guess.
Just a little bit, yeah. And I'm fairly certain that it just went by channel. For example, Rooster Teeth was nominated for Show of the Year. Just Rooster Teeth as a whole.
They didn't, specify on Let's Play, or they didn't separate them?
Nope. They didn't specify Red vs. Blue, they didn't specify Ruby, they didn't specify RT Shorts, they didn't specify iBlade, they didn't specify Let's Play, they didn't specify Go, or Achievement Hunt, or
that's shady.
Play Pals, or Rage Quit, the shows.
That
Rooster
seems
Teeth
like it's
has.
really stacking the deck, because the only one on that list I knew was the Philip DeFranco show, and it's kind of a it's like 3 times a week news thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, because it's the Philip DeFranco show. But then they also had SourceFed.
Oh yeah, they did, didn't
Which, made by Philip DeFranco. Or
Yeah,
his
that's-
company, at
that's-
least.
they? Like his personal site. It just has more of
Yeah.
the same, basically.
So, basically, I guess those are 2 different channels, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. But I guess that would be the criteria then, wouldn't it? They should call it Channel of the Year, perhaps, instead. Funnily enough, the Rooster Teeth, that actually counted as 9 or 10 shows, didn't actually win. And instead, Enchufe TV won.
What the hell is that?
I looked it up. Basically, it's, I think it's Ecuador. It's an Ecuador company that makes, skits. Comedy sketches.
Huh.
And they're all in Spanish.
Kind of guess they had a lot of Spanish voters.
Yeah, this may come off a little bit offensive, but, there were a lot of shows on that list that did basically the same thing. and basically the award was given to the Spanish setting on your TV.
Hmm.
That probably comes off as a little bit offensive, but it's hard to really see that any other way.
So, yeah, pretty much, actually.
Well, still, congratulations to them, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. I kind of wish Rooster
And it's
Teeth
no-
would push it a little harder, because I only saw, like, what, 3 of their videos that had any kind of thing about that?
Yeah, they had it on the front page of the site for, like, the entire voting period.
Yeah,
I
I don't go to their
So-
site, so...
Yeah.
The problem with my slow connection is most video players just do not work. Like, I want to support the 2 best friends by going to their site, but their video player does not work. So I can't.
Mm.
Same thing for TFS, and I think there's one other one, but I can't remember.
Yeah, a lot of them use Blip, and that's probably why. Yeah. But, yeah, it's not like Rooster Teeth were entirely snubbed. I mean, they got awards for, Ruby won Best Animated, and Best Original Score, and stuff like that. So, you know, they did pretty well anyway.
It's something, yeah.
Even though that one weird award was really weird. Anyway, I've been playing the shit out of Star Wars The Old Republic for some reason. You remember when that first came out and everyone said, wow, what a fucking huge failure that game is because it's such a failure? Oh, it's such a rip-off of World of Warcraft and didn't do anything new and it's lame. Lame. So lame. It's actually a pretty fucking good game.
I actually was playing
It's
that for
alright,
a while.
but it has some serious caps for free-to-play players.
It does, but, you know, they spent a lot of money on making that game, so
Yeah.
I can't really blame them for wanting people to spend money on it. Not to mention the maintenance costs, but, yeah,
Wasn't
it's
that
a lot
game
of
the one
fun.
that was it cost money to play at first?
Yeah, they started off with the subscription model and then went to free-to-play with subscription model as well.
Yeah, I did that
So-
for like a month, and oof, I didn't like it when I first tried it because it's just.
Yeah, I tried it on launch as well, and I wasn't wowed by it. It wasn't terrible. It was pretty good, but I wasn't going to spend that much money on it on a month-to-month basis. It has vastly improved since.
Really?
Like, the first expansion they did, I think, was Starfighter expansion, which is basically a PvP space combat mode. So that's pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
whenever you get bored of just the MMO thing of just, hey, I'm gonna go do this quest and kill these monsters and hand it into the quest guy and stuff, you could just fucking say, okay, I want to do a PvP match space combat, please. I want to fight a fucking TIE fighter and shit. Just fucking go do it. Enjoy it. It's good fun. Really enjoy doing that. It's great.
Yeah, I think the main problem for me was getting used to the mouse controls and the fact that my computer would just throw up every time it tried to play the game. So I had like tons of lag always.
Yeah, I can see that being an issue.
Yeah.
The fucking mouse and keyboard thing still pisses me off, and I wish more games would just incorporate the controller thing already, because people really like controllers. They're easy to use.
But the problem with that
won't
is
you let
there
us
are a
use
lot
them?
more than like 8 skills you can have equipped at a time. So the problem navigating the menus with a controller quickly would be kind of an issue.
Yeah, but for casual players, it wouldn't be that bad. I mean, you get fucking 4 face buttons. You just have A as attack, and then X as a different kind of attack, and then B as a different kind of attack.
There have been.
You could just have one of the bumper buttons
Yeah.
and hold that down, and you get a whole different set.
There
and
have been
stuff like
some
that. It's
games
easy.
where you just hold a button down and that switches the skills you have. Like you hold the right trigger and then all of a sudden your 4 face buttons become like 4 different attacks, like skills.
Yeah, it's like the shift and control modifiers for the regular, 1 through 0
Yeah.
keyboard thing.
So it
Same
could,
thing.
It could be easy like that.
Yeah.
You don't have to put too much effort into it.
Could absolutely do that, but they're just not interested in doing that because MMOs don't do that, apparently. It's the same mindset that fucking strategy games had. That's going away, though,
Yeah.
thankfully. Starting to get good strategy games on controllers. That's nice.
Mm-hmm. I think when I tried that game, I had like the best possible setup you can have. Not computer-wise. I mean, my computer could run it pretty great. That was after I got my new video card. But I had 2 friends that played it. They were all members, or 2 friends that I knew that were part of a larger group. And I was getting free stuff. I got some members' items that I guess if a member gives them to you, you can have them. And I just wasn't interested. I mean, I played it for a while. It was fun, but you get to a cap as a free player, and suddenly you gotta wait weeks to do whatever you want to do. Like, I was stranded on a planet because you can only travel like 3 times a week. Stranded on a planet I'd already completed too. It sucked.
That's very strange. I don't think they do that anymore, but yeah. Well, like I say, they're still trying to make money. Free to play doesn't mean it's free to do anything you want with it, because they want to make money from it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point for them? Need to recoup losses, need to maintain and stuff. So. And finally, so my local KFC don't really want to sell me popcorn chicken anymore.
Don't we not sell that anymore?
You used to, not long ago, like a month ago.
There's the chicken bites now.
But
But he wants
no
popcorn
long-
chicken.
You can't.
chicken.
Yeah, I like popcorn chicken too, so I was disappointed when I first heard that. But I don't think we've sold popcorn chicken in years.
You bullshit.
At least not over
We didn't
here.
Sold some last month.
Not at the KFC I work at. I've never had to make popcorn chicken, and I've worked there for a year and a half.
Your company sucks, Zero.
Go to Sonic.
Do
Do you have Sonic over there?
we have
Sonic has pop.
Oh yeah, Sonic has the best popcorn chicken.
Are you allowed to say that?
Yeah, because we don't sell it.
Oh, well, yeah, fair enough.
Zero, you need to get on management and get them to reinstate popcorn chicken. You're all in. You need to do this.
But they kind of had the chicken bites replace that. It's just they're not popcorn chicken. They're not a substitute.
That's easy then. You just get them to replace them back.
You make it sound like I'm in control of the food.
You say that like you're not.
I'm not. It's a completely different department. It's kind of.
Come on. You're on the inside. Your dad's on the inside. Come on. Help us out. Be a hero.
Hey, Dad, could you go talk to the KFC guys in England and make sure they have popcorn chicken? Just them.
This one KFC restaurant in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. It may or may not be a franchise, but you can probably sort that out anyway, right? You know.
Can you go talk to? Do you have any friends international? Could you talk to the CEO? Could you? Okay, Dad. Thanks.
Because Casey's apparently a crack fiend for popcorn chicken.
Popcorn
Good
chicken,
stuff,
it's
dude.
amazing. I love popcorn
Yeah.
chicken. I just wish we actually had it. I mean, the chicken bites are fine or whatever, but they're not popcorn chicken.
Yeah. Also, by the way, Stoke-on-Trent really is kind of the shithole of England. In fact, I recently made the realization that it's pretty much it's the Detroit of
I was about to ask you if it was near Detroit.
It is literally Detroit.
At least it's, I don't know, at least it's not New Jersey.
No, I'm actually serious. You call Detroit the Motor City, yes? Because it used to have the car
Yeah.
industry.
I think, yeah.
Yeah? And then it all went to shit because they left the city, and then everyone ended up unemployed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stoke-on-Trent is called the Potteries. Can you imagine why, and why it's now all gone to shit?
I can't imagine why.
Yeah. Yeah. Pottery industry was a huge thing. Fucking Wedgwood and shit. It was all here. It was... Yay! Everyone's working on pop banks and shit. It's great, and everyone's happy and employed. And now, no, not so much. It's sad. So, I live in British Detroit.
There's a subtitle for you. Casey, he lives in British Detroit.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that's my week. That capped off the realization that, Zero, cheer me up again, please. By bringing back popcorn chicken.
Popcorn chicken is delicious when you have it with some sauce.
What just happened?
Sometimes.
I don't know. What was that, Zero?
Popcorn
Seriously?
chicken. Think about popcorn chicken. Only popcorn chicken. Get your popcorn chicken today.
I feel like he's trying to, distract us so that we don't remember how really weird, awkward, and out of place that weird thing he
Popcorn
just said
chicken.
was.
Dude,
Yeah.
for every one of these podcasts, I'm half asleep. I don't know what I'm saying, and I won't remember what I'm saying. All right?
Okay. So what have you been doing this week, Zero?
All right. Well, since I wasn't on the last episode, I have some minor catching up to do. So I ended up, for Let's Plays, I did Five Nights at Freddy's with a friend. He made me play it.
Yeah, and then he made you play it the shitty way.
And he's just like, just close both the doors. I'm like, no, I waste power. He said, close both the doors. I freak out at horror games.
To him?
I later, and it ended up not working out so well. But anyways, I am bad with horror games. I really am. I was freaking out. Like, even we did like 2 more episodes after the one I uploaded. I just need to get my laptop fixed so I can upload them. But like, it's just, I get scared. I always scream when like the animatronic thing comes to get me. Always. I always shout. Every time. I am not a brave man.
Yeah. We noticed.
I am not a brave man. So,
Yeah.
also, I went to SAC Anime. It was on Friday. My brother had football practice, so I didn't get to go the whole day. So I picked him up. Like, I drove up, like, he ran into my car. We're like, let's go! We gotta get there before it closes! We're just driving, and he's, like, all sweaty from football practice. He's got, like, a little bag of toiletries, and he's, like, making himself not smell as bad. And we're, like, driving. And then we made it in time to actually get into the vendor's hall and scout for stuff we wanted to buy. And, it was just, like, we didn't get into any panels that day, really. But we did get to listen to some very, very bad anime karaoke, which is always nice.
Yeah. It's quite bad.
That's subjective.
It's true. Anyways, we went the second day. He's like, can I bring my friend Kyle? I'm like, okay, sure. You kids don't wander off. And so he brought his friend Kyle, and we got to see Sam Riegel, who does the voice of Teddy from Persona 4.
Oh, nice.
The new one, yes? The old one was Dave Wittenberg, I think.
Yeah, the new one. But he does the one in Arena, and so we got to meet him. We got to meet Josh Grail. He does the voice of... I can't remember what it... He did a lot of different voices. Let me just real quick check on that. He did... Oh yeah, the voice of the main character of Devil's a Part-Timer. He was in Dead Man Wonderland. He was in a lot of animes. And yeah, so but my brother, wanted to get some stuff from him, because he did the voice for, I think it was. Let me see if I can find it. I know he did. Was he the one that did? Oh yeah, he did the Yukiteru voice in Future Diary. Too. Like he does a lot of stuff. And so, you know, my brother's friend asked him to say something in Yuki's voice, and he said something, and as we were walking away, he's like, "And stay away from Yuno." It was fantastic. we got Sam Riegel to say Persona. It was fantastic. We recorded it.
That's great.
It's gonna be a ringtone, isn't
Yeah,
it?
is it your tone for text now?
No, but my brother's got recorded now. I think he's going to treasure it forever. He brought a Persona 4 Arena box, and he's like, "I'm going to get the person who voices Mitsuru and Elizabeth, the person who voices Yuna Arakami, you know, John Young Bosch was there, the person who voices Teddy, the person who voices Yosuke. I'm gonna get every voice."
Yeah.
Good luck with
that.
So we did get the voices of all the people there. You know, their signatures.
Wow.
Yeah. It took us 2 days, but we finally did it. I bought a sword, a sharp sword.
Again, another one?
Of course.
This one it extends up to about my collarbone.
Wait, it extends?
Not
collar
extends,
or
but it's
claymore?
it's as high. It's a person high sword,
Oh, okay.
basically. And do you want to know what sword it is? It's got a real blade too.
The Dragon Slayer from Guts? Or
If it
Berserk?
was, that would be awesome. But this is Ichigo's Bankai, his first one, with the black blade.
Oh, yeah. Alright.
That sword wasn't as tall as a person.
It's pretty big though. I don't know. It's like a two-handed sword. It's nice. It's got a really nice
Okay.
shiny black blade, and it makes all my other swords look like toothpicks. I'm exaggerating the height a little bit, but it's like 4 feet tall, at least.
It's a cool
the blade,
sword.
and the hilt is like another foot. But it is a really cool sword. I also bought a wooden model of Oblivion, the Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts, which was
I
really
want
cool.
it.
It's got like a little like chain attached with like a wooden black crown. It's really nice. I'll link pictures of basically the same sort of models as these, but they're really cool. I'm like, I got these and I was like, I don't need to get anything else here. I'm done. I don't need all your ass. I got swords. This is nice.
Yeah, you come to a realization eventually, actually rather quickly in the dealer's room, that there's only a few things you really want. I mean, there's a ton of merchandise, but not a whole lot of it is stuff that most people would want.
So, just real quickly, here's the model of the Bankai sword I have. It should probably end up going in a link dump, but
Yeah. That is much more katana-like than I remember. Maybe it just didn't come off very well in the fucking anime.
Possible. They
Yeah.
can sometimes take some liberties with the swords.
Yeah, I remember looking at it when it first showed up in the Byakuya fight, and it looked surprisingly rapier-like for a Japanese sword. But you know, maybe that was just my interpretation of what it looked like with my shitty eyes.
But it's really humongous.
It looks humongous.
Yeah.
So
Goddamn, who needs a fucking hilt that like?
the hilt, yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, the balance must... Oh, that's probably why. Fucking balance.
Well, yeah, you need a pretty big space to hold it. If it's that heavy.
And then
Yeah.
This
It's
is
a counterweight, basically.
and then this is basically about the same thing as the Keyblade thing I got. So I'm gonna link that as well.
Okay.
And people were complimenting me like, "Where'd you get it?" I'm like, "This is the last one," because I literally got the last Keyblade that they had for sale, and it was amazing.
I kind of wish
value.
the craftsmanship on most of those Keyblades was a little better, because
This is just a
great
rough
most of the time.
this is just a rough equivalent. It's not the exact same thing.
Ah,
but it's the closest I could find to its basic model. I personally think mine looks a little bit better, but it's still made out of wood, so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, like, the chain on mine isn't as long, it's more thicker. But,
Okay.
so, yeah, I got those while my brother was running around in line. On Sunday, though, he wanted to bring another friend, so I had to drive with, 3 people in my car, him, his friend, and his other friend. And his friend from before was dressing as Slender Man this time.
Okay.
So as we were going, and we're driving, and we're about to get on the freeway, my car's brakes start making some very worrying noises.
Ah.
Oh, Jesus.
Very worrying. So I pull aside, I pull into a parking lot, and we call, some people, family and stuff, and they come and basically my brother's friend's dad comes because my parents were out of town for that particular weekend of all times to be out of town, and so basically he drove my car back, I drove his car back, and then he drove us all the way to the Sac Anime once my car was back in my driveway.
Oh, that's nice one.
So that was $400 for that. Fortunately, my dad paid half, but on top of the expensive prices of the swords and the ticket to get into Sac Anime, that was not very good.
No. Wait, $400? Did that fix your car, or is that the tow price?
$400 to fix my car. We didn't tow it.
Okay.
We managed to drive it back, but $400 to fix my car. My dad was like, "I'll pay half, you pay half," so I did. But on top of the, $73 for that Bonkai sword, and the $38 for that Oblivion Keyblade, it was not looking so good. On top of the $45 for the ticket to get into Sac Anime for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My brother still owes me $45 because I had to pay for his ticket too.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. So there's that. But that last day, my brother's friend went around as, Slender Man.
Slender Man.
And he got hugs. And,
Okay.
Like, literally, like, we could not walk 10 steps without him getting hugged. And people were shaking his hand and wanted to take pictures with him, and he got interviewed.
How do you interview
He
a
was the
character that
only
doesn't
Slender
talk?
Man there.
Oh, wow.
There was a Slender Man, like, on Saturday, but he didn't show up. So he was the only Slender Man on Sunday. It was fantastic. We also saw Rich Alvarez. I don't know if any of you guys watch his channel, but he's the guy who made Stupid Mario Brothers, which is a parody series.
Nope.
We
No
saw
idea.
him. We saw him
Sorry.
interviewing people and stuff, so that was really cool. We got to say hi.
So that was Stupid Mario Brothers?
Yeah,
Okay, I'll link that too.
but all in all, it was a pretty good trip. We got to see Yuri Lowenthal, Johnny Young Bosch, Tara Platt, Josh Grell. We went to his Q&A as well. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, went to at least one AMV contest, but most of it was spent waiting in line for the Persona voice actors.
Oh, yeah, you gotta, if you want autographs, you gotta wait in line.
There was one line where it was just okay. So it literally stretched out the side of the building, across all these stairs, up to the back of the building, down all these stairs, and down to the other side of the building, and almost near the front. And this is a big convention center.
Yeah, those line horror stories basically why I never really want to go to cons.
We made it through the cutoff, or rather he did, because I was looking for drinks because it was like 100 degrees. It was like hot, and he was waiting out in the sun in that line. I bought him like a 1.5 liter gallon of, not gallon, but 1.5 liter thing of water. I used gallon as an exaggeration amount. I keep forgetting to use it as a measuring amount, but 1.5 liter thing of water. And I'm just like handing it, and he just starts chugging it the second he gets out. And he's like, "I'm hungry." I'm like, "Well, I bought a snack, but you took too long. So sorry about that."
Did you,
but-
Do you know if any of those voice actors go to the con regularly?
Um, I know for a fact that I actually don't know if any of them come to the con regularly, but I do know that Vic has come on multiple occasions.
Ah,
Yeah, I think some of them are local. I'm pretty sure Yuri Lowenthal and
John Young Bosch has come on multiple
Yeah.
occasions.
I'm pretty sure they're local to California, so they're probably more likely to go.
Yeah, but SAC Anime, I've been going to SAC Anime since it was at a small hotel. It was at a hotel instead, and now it's got the whole Sacramento Convention Center. It's really growing fast. So, yeah, nothing's like going through the narrow streets of Sacramento trying to avoid hitting cosplayers, or trying to hit them if you have a vengeance. But, you know.
hey, extra points.
Hey, hit the one with the fox ears. Extra points.
Yeah.
A lot of points if you can hit anybody dressed as a character from Bleach. No, I'm just kidding. But you know, so that was a lot of fun. Then my laptop broke.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, like the bottom casing on it came loose after like a long time of wear and tear, and it wouldn't charge and everything. So I had to give that. I went over to this repair place, and that's $185 I have to pay on top of the car thing and on top of SAC Anime.
For those counting along, that's approximately $730 total.
Yeah.
Something like that. I'm guessing mostly, but it's over
Oh, and then I had to
$700.
pay for my parking ticket for school, and that was about $170.
what the hell?
Yeah, they charge you like an ass load for parking tickets at schools, colleges.
Yeah,
They just do.
That seems bad. Why would you charge more for students? That's ridiculous.
so basically, almost all the accumulated money I had made in the past couple months, whoosh, pretty much.
You went to a con. Did you expect to finish that con with money?
I was going to end up finishing it with money, and then my car broke down, and then my laptop broke, and then there was the parking ticket. And
He has a point.
And the parking ticket's just year round. You have to get it, you know, or not year round. It's per semester. I have to get that. My dad was like, "You're paying this with your own money." And normally it would be fine, but the car and the laptop too. It's just. So I'm currently much poorer than I was before.
Well,
By the time this is all over, I should have almost $400 in my bank account if I'm fortunate, because I didn't have much to begin with. Which is it's a good amount, but it should keep me afloat.
this may be an appropriate time to bring up that Patreon we're going to be working on. Hey guys, if you're feeling generous, you know.
are the worst sort of human being.
I do have to pay for school, and I don't have any money now.
Yes, Slicer, I am the worst sort of human being.
But
It's the sad sack piling on the depression.
no,
over
but
here.
no, I'm just. It's fine. I can deal with it. I can work with it, but it's gonna be significantly tougher than it has been before, because I don't have as much of a net to fall on if something bad happens. Because everything bad just did happen.
Well, that was what the money was for, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, also I had to get I had to go in and get a oil change, and that would have been $30. But then they said, "Oh yeah, your brake fluid is at 3%. We need to fix that as well. Give us $70 more."
Of course they did.
So, yeah. So kinda, it's just expense after expense after expense, and school's not making it any easier. But I will survive. I will survive. Hey, hey.
Hey.
So I've also been writing a lot. I'm almost done with the chapter for World and Us, which is the Kill la Kill and Persona one. And I'm almost done with. I'm pretty good. I've made some decent progress on M1 N470. I think I'm gonna start writing some more MTC, and then I'll move on to some other stories. But yeah, things have been tight. That's it for what I've been doing.
Okay.
I brought up the if he comes to it regularly because we get the guy who voiced Zordon coming to ours. He's a pretty regular.
That's
Dude's like 90
amazing.
years old, but he makes it every time. It's great.
That's amazing.
I have no idea who that is. I just thought of the terrible Sean Connery movie.
I
The
will.
mentor thing from Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I will link you.
okay.
I will link you a video.
He doesn't need to see it.
You need to see it.
I will link you a video. Just put Zordon in link dump, and also Zardos in the link dump.
Zordon.
Oh, right. I didn't get a chance to mention it as well, but I'm so nitpicky about are you allowed to say that because a friend of my dad's is a professional shooter. Like he shoots for all the big companies. He has a lot of sponsors. Like every part of your bow has a different sponsor, and that's how it works. And the company that did his site, I think, found out that he used something else for hunting, and they kicked him off the team because he used a different site for hunting. Yeah.
That makes no sense.
It doesn't. No, nobody else sees him hunt. He hunts alone.
No, it's
And-
personal time. It's not on the clock. It's not being watched. It's not a competition. You can't really be expected to use their equipment all the time. Well, I suppose theoretically, sorry, I do play devil's advocate on everything, so I'm sorry about that, Sizer. But theoretically, if he uses something else for hunting in his private time, then he might say in an interview or something that he uses something else in his private time.
There's a
And
chance
that
of
is
that,
so
but
very-
he's been doing
that
it
is
so
so
long,
very
I don't see that
easy.
happening.
To spin into something unpleasant for the company involved.
Yeah, I think it. I have to agree with Casey on that. It's just people need to find out that he's not using their bow parts for everything. So obviously he must think it's for something just for work, and doesn't.
Yeah, he sees it as actually inferior to whatever he actually uses.
And they can't have that. So it from that point of view, it makes sense. It's just kind of a crappy thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I say, I see the logic in things, but it doesn't make it a decent thing to do at all. So, yeah, it's kind of a shithead move, but,
What you gonna do, you know?
yeah. I was trying desperately not to actually say that line, but yeah.
What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys.
I was definitely not going to say that. Whatever.
I'm
So,
sorry, just thinking about the show Cops.
anniversary episode.
Yay!
Flux. Yeah.
I'm Batman.
Okay.
Anniversary episode.
Right.
So, Bleach.
Yeah, Bleach.
Okay, opening Bleach, and it is, this week we are doing Bleach 595. And, the page isn't loading.
So
Yeah,
it
this
opens
was an
up-
interesting one.
It opens up with
If you could
bald
load the page, that'd be
sunglass
great.
Santa.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay, this isn't loading. If someone could link me to a different,
Eat manga.
I'm using that one.
Oh,
It's not loading.
really?
Yep.
It's loading just.
Link me something else. Please, thank you.
One manga has Bleach.
It does? I thought that site was just dead.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's supposed to. Yeah, everything's licensed, so they don't.
It's
use
dead
anything
now?
anymore.
Oh, man. I was even
Pretty
paying attention. Manga Panda.
Well, I mean, if you've been using
Mangarina.
it recently, then you would know better than I. I haven't been there in like 8 months.
I haven't been there in months. Manga Panda.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look it up real quick. Bleach.
Can't you just link something? There you go.
Bleach 595, here we go. Rub Dolls #2.
Yeah, that's a title.
Yep. So, we have more Isagi and Byakuya fighting. And we welcome back Pepe the Love.
Yeah.
Can I just say, whenever I hear him talk, I think of him saying it in like a groovy fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Complex
he's not
always
so
said
much a
sad,
rapper
sad
as he
things.
is.
That's because there is love involved.
He's more of a soul man than a rapper, I think.
Every
Yeah.
single conflict happens because of love. Like that. But he's like Santa also.
I
He's
want
like
to
a
say
black
he's wrong, but
sunglass
honestly,
Santa.
he kind of is. I mean, that's a pretty decent train of logic.
Yeah, it's pretty. In my notes, it says I'm having trouble hating or disagreeing with most of what the love guru is saying here.
It's more passion than love, but I mean, yeah, that's kind of the cause of most conflicts.
Faith is love. Belief is love. Even attachment toward things is love.
So you read it like that too?
There are no fights where there's no love. That's why fights are bad. And that's why they're beautiful. Love this guy.
Love.
I really do.
So you put the extra cadence on love too?
Get on the love train.
Is there any other way to read it? I mean,
The love towards one's wife, towards one's children, towards one's parents, the love towards one's friends, towards one's Lord, towards one God, love. Like that. He's a loving man.
in the creepiest sort of way. Although that kind of comes into play later. Keep reading.
So Byakuya does his I'm a tough guy and a badass and I'm cold and calculating and I have no love in my heart kind of bullshit that he always does.
I will sever the strings of the puppet and crush the manipulator.
Yeah.
That's the whole. And then he's like, and then Love Guru was like, "Oh, as expected, you sure are perceptive."
I have Byakuya Kuchiki, you sure are a tough guy.
Yeah, it's just perceptive.
How scary.
So
Scary.
Very scary.
So scary.
And then he does that.
I'm scared.
And then he does the love hand symbol that like girls at maid
Yeah.
cafes do to bless your food with happiness and love.
Yeah. Also, I have no idea where the accent I'm doing is coming from.
Love.
I don't know either.
I can't hate it.
Get on the soul train.
Yeah.
That's racist as hell.
I know. Sorry, but it's great.
It's just this guy. It fits him too well. He fits into
When
that
did the
spot.
soul train come into this hero?
That's what I was imagining when I saw him. It's like it was Love Train. I'm sorry. I'm a bad person.
People around the world, join hands, start a love train.
Love Train. And they shoot his love beam.
Yeah, and
Even though you
indeed you're only able to control what has a heart. Okay.
you can't manipulate those who are heartless.
I like this.
It's kind of
If
a
you
good weakness,
understood-
honestly. I mean, it fits.
Yeah. If you understood that much, why did you block it with your Zanpakuto toe? That's a pretty good twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's got love in his heart.
Well, his sword
I
does.
know
He doesn't.
that.
That's kind of the point.
Zanpakuto have hearts too.
I still haven't seen that arc where the swords come alive.
Yeah, I didn't care.
I actually like that one. That was one of the better
yeah, a
filler
lot of
arcs.
people did. Yeah.
Because, like, you got to see the sword personalities, and, like, they're kind of hilarious. Like, Rukia's one was kind of, like, interesting, because her sword ended up turning against her, and then when they got it back, it's just kind of like they had a really frosty relationship.
You son of a bitch.
God damn it.
That was
It's a special place in hell for people like you.
And he's like, I have love on my side. So Zampacto with hearts are always for the taking. Heart. There's a little heart mark everywhere. Heart marks.
So now Byakuya's sword can kill him or something.
Yep. And he throws it away, and now Hisagi has it. So, yeah. Dumb move, but, once again, we have speech from Pepe. The power of love is amazing. No matter how many times you attack him, he still stands up and tries to fight for love.
Love.
Love is really important to overcome hardships.
Carry it on, love guru.
Yeah, and then we're back to fight mode, so that was enough Pepe, apparently. That
Yeah.
was not enough Pepe. We need more
And then-
fucking
and then
Pepe.
next-
I want to read more about
And then
this
he
guy
runs
so I
away,
can
and
fucking
then
do
next
more
he's like,
speeches.
love, kiss. And then he makes
Yeah,
the
you'll get more
whole
Pepe. Keep reading.
hand symbol.
More
It's
Pepe.
just another heart beam because he's like every single Maho Shoujo ever with his love. Oh my!
I can't stand that you won't receive my love.
Is your heart truly devoid of love? It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable for you to not accept my love.
And then the next.
Yeah. Oh,
My eyes.
oh, this is my first reaction. Oh, this is page 15 or what I might.
I told you get
You
more
will
than you
never-
can handle.
This is God's love. This is God's love. He basically turns into what you were to if you were to combine Santa Claus and newborn baby Jesus. That's this guy right now.
It's
Wait, are
supposed
you
to be
telling me
Cupid.
this is Santa Christ?
He's Santa
Cupid.
Christ. He's got a star on top of his head.
Santa Christ.
He's got wings.
I love Santa
And then he's
Christ.
got the Santa, and then he's got Santa shoes, and then he's got a diaper. That's basically what it
He's
is.
Santa and Jesus, goddamn, he's awesome. Yeah, that was a reference, by the way.
Yeah.
I have no idea what episode of Nostalgia Credit to link to for that, but that was...
Yeah, he's Santa Christ.
He's Santa Christ.
And he's like, God's love, take a good, hard look at this pure body of mine. It makes you instinctively want to love me, right? And
Don't you feel like loving me?
then he uses the love rope.
Love rope. God damn.
Thick, streamy ropes. Oh boy.
And as far as we know, they're white.
Wait,
Yeah.
don't kill him. I have decided I want this guy to die by my
I
love.
decided to kill him with my
You
love.
see, that sounds horrible.
And then he takes out
And
a...
then he seems to drink some sort of
No, he's not
substance.
drinking, he's throwing up. He is throwing
Yep.
up a bow and arrow.
Regurgitating. Yep.
This is the ultimate love. And then he gets kicked in the face. By some very scary dude. You know who it is.
I know one of them's Kensei. I don't know who the other one is.
Yeah, they're bit characters for the most part. They're seated
They were the
officers,
Visor
but
ones, I think.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
No, they were the
that's-
Visored captains, but I don't know who the other one is.
Pretty sure that's Rose. The
Is
other
it?
one? I think so.
Wait, how did the
I know
Vizards
one of them was
lose?
called Rose, and one of them was actually called Love, and I can't remember which one it is.
Love had like a star afro.
Oh, okay.
So basically, the love train crashed. I
Sort
hate
of,
this
yes.
guy. Kind of. I kind of don't like this character, but I kind of
Well,
want
Pepe
to like
the
this
Love?
character.
I love Pepe the
it's
Love.
weird. I like. He should not be a good villain, but yet he is.
No,
Facts
he's not a good
are
villain. He's a
always
memorable
sad.
character.
I know.
That's because there's always love involved.
But his love argument made it, some semblance of sense.
It made a lot of sense.
Yeah, I don't want to give him too much credit, though, because of that page.
I love this guy. Pepe Love.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm shocked, as you can probably tell. I'm going into shock a little bit right here. So it's
Zero's not feeling the love.
He's not
I
feeling
don't want to
love.
feel the love. If I'm feeling the love, something has gone wrong.
We need to get him some love rope.
No. That's like 50 Shades of Grey. It's not. You can't just add love to anything and make it nice. Like, you can't just say this isn't
Love dildo.
You just can't say this isn't bondage. This isn't love bondage. No, you don't say that. It doesn't change the fact that it's still whatever.
Other things, yes.
Love butt plug.
Okay. I'm immediately okay. Just
Anyway,
just push a button and leave the call right now.
you could.
you
So,
want?
Naruto.
Naruto. Oh.
Naruto 691. So, I'm back on Eat Manga because it's working now for whatever reason. So, we're meeting the Sage of Six Paths. How great and amazing that we're meeting this legendary character.
I'm really glad they don't give a. I'm really glad that Sakura doesn't give a fuck. That
Yeah.
makes me happy for some reason.
At
For the
this
first
point, I'm
time,
too
I really
exhausted
enjoyed
to even be
Sakura's
surprised. It's just like I'm just done. I've
Yeah.
had like twist after twist pulled on me. I mean, sure he's floating, but come on, what else have we seen in the past 2 days?
We don't get to call bullshit fucking Eldritch Abomination lady a twist. No, that I'm not gonna give it the respect that. No.
Quote unquote twist.
Mm.
Is what I mean.
It's almost as if I've fallen into a fairy tale.
Yeah, it looks...
That manga's shit too, so don't worry about it.
There's also the ghosts of Kage past
Yeah.
all over the place.
So that's apparently what the sage was doing. He was making more Kage because he didn't have enough of that.
Summer in the form of 5 Kages bring us back from the dimension with the tailed beasts in tow. The only person capable of such godly feats is you. Right? And then he's like, yeah, you're Kakashi, right? He's like, you did a good job. Sorta.
You did great leading them.
And then Kakashi's like, nah, I actually did nothing, and I was kind of useless.
Yeah,
garbage."
and he actually did nothing, so most of the time spent in those other dimensions was saving Kakashi's ass.
And Sakura's.
And he
pretty
wasn't
much,
really
yeah.
leading them. I don't remember him giving orders of how to fight her.
No. He did maybe once at the very, very end have some input.
And then Naruto's like, hey, Kurama, were you lonely all by yourself over there? I missed you and your love train.
Yeah, so, yeah, leading and stuff. And we have the goodbye between Kakashi and Obito.
Again,
Because
for the
we just
fourth
do this
time.
again.
For the fourth time.
But, yeah, and then his eyes go out. Because apparently, I don't fucking know, Obito was possessing him, and that's why he had the fucking Sharingan.
That's all I can really get from it, yeah.
Because, you know, the Uchiha can do that now.
Why not?
They can do everything else, sure.
I was being really awesome, but now I'm back to being useless. Did I do a good job, Mr. Sage?
By the way, the 6th Hokage, everybody. Fucking Kakashi of the Sharingan, now fucking blind. That's great, you know.
Glad he's not blind. He just
Isn't
doesn't
he?
have the Sharingan.
He doesn't have the Sharingan anymore.
His eyes turned black,
okay.
not white.
Okay, so instead of being blind, he has lost the most significant factor of his ability.
He's basically become a useless scrub.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
great. Again, 6th Hokage, everybody.
Naruto, Sasuke, you should listen to your predecessors, because they have some good things to tell you.
Okay. This scene with Madara and Hashirama. This one scene puts into perspective everything I've been saying about the bullshit for the past however long we've been doing this.
How so?
Okay.
I mean, I agree with you. I'd just like to hear your reasoning.
Right here, we have two people who are reflections of the protagonists, much as that annoys me that they kept doing that, but they're reflections of the protagonists. They had a major impact on the story thus far. They shaped the history of this setting as we know it, and instead of them being the focus of the ending, it was bullshit Eldritch Lady and her shady little mama's boy of a son.
Shadow
Yeah.
Sleeve.
By the way, shady, did you like that?
Yeah.
Because he's
Yeah,
We get it.
Yeah,
We
we
get
get
it.
it. We're feeling Puntastic today.
Yeah, we are.
And he's like, but we're dying now, so all we can do is drink as comrades. Maybe,
Hang on, we have a title now.
maybe we'll,
Fandom Flux has a Puntastic anniversary. Thanks, Zero.
Yeah. Thanks, Zero.
Yeah, so,
but we're dying now, so all we can do is share and drink as comrades. And he's like, as comrades, sure. I mean, I killed a lot of people, and I kind of screwed everybody over, but I can have a drink before I die.
yeah, it's kind of... It kind of works well. I'll give him credit. This scene is pretty well done.
It's pretty good. It's just the fact that this happened and it's not the end.
It's
Like,
close enough.
but the
It's-
fact that
They at least did something with this.
yeah, they did something with it, but the fact is that they still introduced Weird Eldritch Lady and her shady son.
You don't get to repeat the pun.
I know,
that's not
but
strong.
I that's how I'm going to refer to him from now on. You've made that, so now whenever I think of him, he's just the shady son because he didn't have a title
I'm
for
gonna-
him. 'Cause I
I'm
don't
gonna
remember
call
his
him Sleeve Shady.
What?
I'm good with
my
that.
name is-
Sleeve Shady.
Alright.
It's like, oh, the fuck.
So,
like,
yeah, we have Hashirama telling Madara that he messed up because he failed to raise up the ones who followed him,
yeah.
so he could entrust things to them, and Madara admits that that was beyond his capabilities.
Yeah.
He wasn't that kind of person, so he just couldn't do it. It wasn't in his nature.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty. That's characterization right there. He is not that kind of person. He doesn't see himself as that kind of person, so he could not follow Hashirama's ideals. That's good. Where was this the rest of the series?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say next.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the sage dude says, I'll send all back the 5 Kages and the Edo Tensei ones.
Okay.
Because I just showed up and I'm going to do everything for you guys.
Yeah. And he's going to send them back all at once, and Naruto has a realization.
Dad.
Yeah.
That's right, I
Of
promise
course he
I'd
does.
tell.
Okay. Once again, I have to give credit to a Naruto chapter. This scene also, that exactly reflected the speech that Kushina gave. Her last words was perfect. It was perfect.
How so?
It's bringing everything together. It is perfectly handled for Naruto's last goodbye to the last member of his family.
Oh, that. Okay, yeah. I can agree with that.
Yeah. I'll give them credit for the speeches.
Yeah.
And the characterization. It's just the problem I had is that the circumstances surrounding this. That's my main problem with Naruto, is just that you can have good characterization, you can have good speeches, all you want, but when it comes after just a whole bunch of crap like that, it kind of diminishes the effect a little bit for me.
I finally have something unequivocally positive to say about the chapter, and Citro just fucking shits all over it, doesn't he?
I gotta.
But yeah.
I'm kind of feeling a little bit negative right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
I mean, I it's not a bad chapter. It's just.
It's not. It's probably the best one we've actually seen.
It's the best one we've had in a while. I'll give you that. It's just that I feel like it could have been more. With, if like the previous chapters had been handled a little bit better.
I don't think so. I think if you had just swapped out the Eldritch Lady fight with fighting Madara and stopping his plan, nothing would change in this chapter. It would still be the exact same chapter. So, I don't think so. I don't think you have to take into account the bullshit plot that came before, because it has nothing to do with this. Nothing at all. Just like it had nothing to do with what came before it, it has nothing to do with what came after it. So...
Alright. Well... Okay, it's not that bad of a chapter. I'm just so used to not liking Naruto that it's kind of hard for me to accept that I actually like this chapter.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's
weird.
It's like, it's a weird sort of like, I want to like this chapter, but like there's a sort of a resistance there. But it is a good chapter. I'll give the writer credit for that. It's just I wish that we'd seen more of this type of characterization throughout the entire story, and that kind of is a little bit disappointing for me. I mean, you can say, yeah, this is the type of stuff that can only happen at this moment, but there are bits of stuff that could have been used better throughout the story, and that just disappoints me a little bit.
Okay. I think that's a good way to end the manga recap segment for our anniversary episode, is a Naruto chapter that none of us really dislike.
Pretty
Unless
much.
Ken wants to say something.
I don't have anything to say negative, other than what I already said, which wasn't really negative.
Yeah. Alright, so I guess
That's 100%-ish positive response to this chapter. That's unheard of
Pretty
from this
much.
podcast.
yeah.
So, in fact, I know I was doing the sarcastic applause before, but fuck it. Real applause. That was well done. Well done, what's your name?
Kishimoto?
That's the one.
Well done, Kubo.
Oh, wait.
Also,
that's
yeah, well
Bleach.
done, Kubo. That too. Come on.
No,
Pepe the Love.
I did not
Hey.
applaud Cupid Pepe. That will be burned in my retinas for the rest of the week.
I'll upload it. I'll upload it to the end of fucking time. The love.
Alright, so we actually have
So next.
legitimate topics now.
Okay, we do have topics. So, first topic is... Alright, getting back into it. So, you are a writer. You are a artist. Why not? You are a video maker. You are whatever you are. And you've kind of fell off of doing whatever you were doing. And now you kind of want to get back into it because you miss it and you want to go back. So, how do you do that?
I've been on kind of hiatus from fan fiction for a few months because of work and everything. So I didn't get time to write. And now I've been trying to get back into writing. And it's a weird sort of feeling. Because you feel like, yeah, I can do this, but then you start doubting yourself, like, has my quality dropped? I know my quality has dropped. You know, it's just, you know, you're like, can I do the same thing I did before? Because I'm so out of practice.
Not to mention, if you're continuing a work that you started
Yeah.
before, you constantly have the thought of, is this right? Am I forgetting anything? Are there elements of the plot that
Yeah.
I've forgotten that should be addressed?
So
Are there any holes in the plot that haven't been
yeah, so
covered properly?
I have to keep rereading a lot of the time while I'm writing,
Yeah.
so it's slowing me down. But I'm trying to make sure that I get something good quality out there, because if you're gonna be like updating after a long time of just nothing, you want to make sure that you have good quality when you come back, so people are reminded of why they read you in the first place.
Yeah. It's basically like starting all over again. Because a lot of the readers or viewers or whatever you had back then will have probably moved on. I mean, some of them will come back, they'll get the alert and say, hey, this guy's writing again. And they'll come back and take a look at it, but
It's a weird sort of
time you're gonna have a lot of new readers just because
it's a weird sort of feeling for me, because even though I haven't been updating, I still get like daily I get like at least one alert of a favorite or a follow for one of my stories. And it's sort of weird because the thing with fan fiction is even though you don't write more, your stuff is still up, and people are used to waiting long times for updates.
Oh yeah.
So if a story's not abandoned, they'll still favorite and follow it and just wait. Most of the time, it's just when you do update, the people who were there first are gonna have to reread, and it's gonna be a little bit troublesome for them. But
yeah.
Honestly, I find the best way to get back into it when I'm writing is usually I listen to music, depending on which story I listen to. For example, when I'm writing M1N470, I listen to the Megas and the Proto Men, Mega Man based bands, because robot. And I listen to. I usually in my head kind of make theme songs for certain fics or characters in those fics, and I just listen to those, or even just listening to music from the source material really helps. You get back into wanting to write that and getting back into writing that, because I think the main problem you have to worry about is not liking the series it came from anymore. And like for example, Kill la Kill released a 25th episode, an OVA episode. So I watched that and got real pumped for my fic again. So,
I have to look that up after this. I had no idea that existed.
yeah, it's a graduation thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd have thought it would do a beach thing just to be ironic.
Oh yeah.
No.
When the characters have been naked for 90% of the show and they just do, fuck it, we'll do swimsuits anyway.
It brings good closure. It's basically like, yeah, these guys are good, but you guys still have a dark past you have to face, because you guys are kind of terrors ruling the school with an iron fist.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
They weren't shy about that.
It deals with that in a very Kill la Kill way. Is what I'm gonna say. So just getting back into it is always a lot harder than writing a new story, because you have to remember, this is what I had planned, this is what I was doing, and it's especially hard for me because my laptop had died previously in the summer, and I had to wipe its entire memory, and I lost all the notes I had on my laptop.
Yeah, I was going to mention that keeping cliff notes is always handy, but
Yeah.
for you that wouldn't really work, because they'd be gone as well.
But the good news is I still had notes on my phone that I can refer to. They're not a lot, but that's all I have. So
It's better than nothing, I suppose.
yeah, I've been trying to get back into it. It does take a while. I'm not gonna lie. It takes like even to write like a couple thousand words. You have to think about it and plan about it. And you have to think, how would this character go? I made this character differentiate from the canon in this way, this way, this way. Am I sure I'm doing it right? And you have to double check, and you have to recheck your logic for arguments and everything to make sure it fits in with that character's viewpoints. Yep. It's a lot of work, and it's worth it though, because you don't want to leave it just hanging there.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like if you were working on, say, an animation thing and you stopped halfway through and you never even finished that. Like, I can imagine that would be really tough as well, because you have to go and you have to think, what was I going to actually animate next, because I'm doing this frame by frame.
Yeah, that's actually a whole different thing to writing, because writing, unless you're finishing mid-chapter and you just leave it and don't go back to it, then you have something finished and posted and it's up,
Yeah.
and people can see it if they want to. But an animation that's half done is a lot of work that is going to end up being wasted if you don't finish it.
Yeah.
It's going to be time that was completely pointless and wasted.
I mean, writing has the advantage of, you have stuff you can refer to, but the problem is, when it comes to other things, like, say, videos or stuff that, needs to have a specific mindset or, frame of mind, it gets really difficult. But, for me, for writing, I find that using music helps me get more into the mindset I was in when I was writing.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, I kind of do write down possible like theme songs as if this was an anime or this was a video game, this would be this character's theme song. There's little things I pick out of my head just so I can, remember what that character's like by listening to that song, which does help. But I think
it's it works as like a mnemonic device, I suppose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, I'm listening to this music, and it triggers the sort of mindset that you would have when you were writing before, and that sort of logic process is sort of still in your brain. It's like, I'm listening to this music, thus I should be writing.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And it works to an extent. I mean, it's not going to be
foolproof. It's not perfect.
It helps,
but it does help you. Like, especially if you choose a song with lyrics that fit the character, then that helps you even more, because then you can be like, oh, the character's like this. I made the character like this. I chose this song because I made the character like this. So it's a method. It's not by any means perfect, but it does help. Yeah.
It has its flaws, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I mean, if you made it slightly different for whatever reason, then rediscovering that feeling of the song, it kind of it can backfire.
Yeah. But I find that really rereading your stuff is important beyond anything else.
Yeah, that's the best piece of advice I could give. Whenever I want to get into writing again, I always reread what I have to get into that mindset again. Usually it works. Sometimes I'm just not in the mood to write that kind of stuff, actually. So
usually I
have
usually I have enough remembered that I only have to reread the last chapter or so. But like, it's been a long time since I've actually updated any of my stories, and now I'm going through and I'm being like, okay, so this character should know this, and that's one of the more concerning parts, is characters' knowledge. Like, what do they know? What should they not know? Because if you don't get that right, then you could be repeating stuff, or you could be giving characters information that they would not have.
That they shouldn't have.
And that's very plot holes-ish. Like, you leave humongous plot holes the size of Texas.
Pretty much.
Just a random example. Just Texas.
Yeah. I was gonna say Kansas, but that was too small. But
Too small time.
Texas is real swole, bro. But it's
Okay.
It's really about capturing that mindset, that sort of frame of mind of when you were a writer, and remembering the stuff that you had learned while you were writing. And that's difficult, because I want to remember, say, for example, this technique, this bit of advice that I got here, this bit of advice I got here. But, it's hard. So, anybody else got anything to say?
I'm done.
You covered most of what I was going to say. Just the rereading it, keeping notes, definitely notes.
Yeah. What about you, Kenshi?
Dude,
Huh?
what?
What? Huh?
He was asleep.
How asleep are you right now?
What? Literally, what happened?
Kenshi.
I heard my name.
Kenshi.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yeah, that answers that question pretty well.
I don't know what's okay.
It's okay.
It might not be okay. I don't know what this is.
How would you recommend getting into a story after not updating it for a long time, Kenshi618?
I have no idea.
There we go.
Yeah, Kenshi's not the person to ask about this.
Yeah,
He's just
because
fucking-
Kenshi always updates. 'Cause freaking Kenshi. That's the only answer you can give.
Yeah. So, Ken, when can we expect that new History's Strongest Shinobi?
I don't know.
Better question, when can we expect the next Less Than Zero? Because I like that one.
I'm actually working on that now.
Oh, cool.
So, I don't know, maybe a few days.
Awesome.
Alright, so I guess that covers it for getting back into it.
Alright, so the next topic, this is probably going to be the last one, we're not going to have time for... God damn it, we're pushing it again. Alright. So, the next topic is the pervert character.
Yes. I just want to, real quick, name as an example of a pervert character done well, Issei Hyodo from High School DxD.
Yep. Everyone was
Yeah,
expecting
definitely.
that.
Special mention
But-
for him. That was pretty good.
I just want to expand this topic a little bit.
Mhm.
The pervert mindset.
Yeah.
Or the attitude to perversion
There is always
of a story.
any hair manga. There's usually the main character who is super gentle, super polite, and is not perverted, and then gets like treated as a pervert because of awkward situations. And then you have the friends who are super perverted and like, dude, why don't you tap that?
Yeah. Actually, that's kind of a universal, well, anime thing, at least. If any character of any age or temperament or mindset says the phrase, I like breasts, then every character will label them as a pervert immediately, regardless of context.
See,
Pretty much,
the thing
yeah.
with Kyoto Issei that I like is that he's so perverted that it's reasonable to call him a pervert.
Yeah, that's why this is a good example of it. That's why it actually works.
And it's not just that he's just a good character because he actually does have depth. Because there's a legitimate reason why he doesn't pick any girl at first in his backstory. There's a legitimate
It's a good
reason.
one, too.
Yeah. I don't know if Casey read the light novels though, so I won't spoil it.
I know the deal.
Yeah.
It's fine.
We mentioned it before,
yeah.
actually.
I
Yeah,
think
we
so.
have.
Yeah, but yeah, he's just that's a good example of a pervert character done right. He's perverted, but he's not a bad guy. He just likes girls.
Yeah.
He just really likes girls.
Yeah, but that's why it's a weird thing in Japanese shows. A lot of the time, if you like girls at all, then you're a pervert. It's a bizarre logic in shows like that. Like, fucking... Naruto is kind of an example of it, sort of.
Sort of.
Fucking Jiraiya, yes, obviously.
There's a significant difference between, "Hey girl, you look cute today," and then she calls you pervert, and then
Yeah.
walking into the woman's bathroom saying, "Hey girl, you look cute today." There's a difference.
Yeah, that's
But the thing is, anime treats it all the same, which makes it it's baffling. But yeah,
if you have any interest in the opposite sex, you're instantly a pervert. But it's confusing. I think it has to deal with because they can't show anything. They need to do that, so they're treated. I don't know.
I think it's a cultural thing with the Japanese culture.
it's a very restrained culture
Yeah.
when it comes to sexuality.
and that's where it really comes from. And really, if you're writing a pervert character, you don't have to necessarily reflect that. Unless you're
No.
going full on Japanese culture, you want to be as strict to close to.
If it's Japanese culture, then fine, go for it.
yeah.
If it's not, what the fuck are you doing? Writing it like
say
it
you're
is. That
say
makes
you're
no
writing
sense.
Harry Potter.
You don't do that in that.
No.
People are more
Yeah.
logical than you might think in that.
A little more open about it in that.
Yeah.
Despite being a pseudo-Victorian culture, they're actually a little bit more open about sexuality than they are in fucking Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of. Not by
Strange
much.
how that is. Well, it's still a kids' book series,
True.
so
Yeah, but I mean,
All I can say is the most important thing about a pervert character is set limits. Nobody wants to have a pervert character that just is actually dating somebody and it doesn't go anywhere because the pervert character can never get laid.
I was expecting Zero to jump in there because that's pretty much his situation.
I know, but I didn't want to say anything because I thought you were gonna say something. You were just like, oh, but yeah, that's Issei's situation though is like.
He's an exception, though. I mean, it's his unique situation.
It is.
It is actually a unique situation.
It actually is a
though.
unique
That's
situation,
probably why.
and it, you know, like I've seen other series where like I don't have many friends, or Boku wa Tomodachi ga Sukanai, if you want to call it that by its long Japanese name, where the main character, like he's in a club for people who are antisocial and can't make friends with most people. And, you know, pretty much all of them are girls. And they all start falling for him. And, like, at one point, you find out the reason why he doesn't want to go out with any of them is because he knows if he does it, it will completely break the club apart. Because pretty much everybody there is there for him. So if he chooses one, then everybody else is going to be heartbroken. They're not going to come to club. And his entire happy existence is going to come to an end.
See, that's another unique situation. And that's good.
Yeah.
When it's unique, it's good. When it's, oh, nothing happens because wacky hijinks and, oh, compromising situations gets interrupted, no. That's not unique. That's been done so many times, it's not even funny anymore.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's just frustrating.
So, don't do that, please. Any writer ever, never do that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, fucking Three's Company was decades ago.
And Love Hina was even about that time frame, honestly.
Yeah. It's not a new concept, and no one is impressed by it.
Yeah, when I try to write, I try to at least give a reason for why the character has a harem but isn't getting laid. I try to justify it. 'Cause, yeah, you have to have some sort of justification that's not just like, oh, he's indecisive, and he has wacky hijinks, and you know, no, it's you gotta have a reason. Like even Nagima, where like Nagima had like every single girl ever in love with him,
But also he was 10.
Yeah, he was 10.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw that out there as being the main reason that nothing
There
happened.
was that,
Because he's fucking 10.
and he also did technically choose one. There's a sequel manga,
Is
yeah,
there?
called UQ Holder.
Okay, who'd he choose? I'm
Um,
curious.
They're not telling us yet. But it follows his grandson.
Oh god, they're actually drawing this out further, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They are, but he did choose one.
That author is really a bastard.
But the one that he did choose, like you can kind of sort of guess at who it is from like little hints left here and there, but you know
Okay.
it's hard to guess which one exactly because there's like similarities
Okay.
he has with some other characters. So it's an interesting way to go about avoiding the choice. This is the grandson. Wait, what about the previous character? Who did he choose? You'll find out later.
Yeah, it's kind of mean. Like, that show, even I had a preferred ship in that, and that's fucking... I don't know how that happened, but it did. But at this point, I'm so checked out. I am not going to play this guy's game anymore. I'm done.
It's not a bad manga. It's just, you know, let's try and see what happens if we make it more battle-based. And what happened in the last series, it's still there. Characters still appear. Like, Evangeline still is like a more important character in it.
Fate showed up again, didn't
Fate showed up again, and he basically wrecked everybody.
Yes, he does.
They managed to like sort of beat him, but that's like late game. He's like a late game boss that comes early.
Do you even know the Casey? Do you even know the premise of the new series in the first place?
No.
I
didn't even finish the last one.
In this one, every main character pretty much has some form of immortality.
I mean, the immortality can be beaten in some way, shape, or form, but everybody has a sort of a different form. The main character ends up becoming a vampire because of Evangeline.
My favorite one so far is like the girl that has save points.
Yes, she has save points. It's fantastic.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Like it's how many different ways can we make people immortal?
Is Negi still immortal?
He supposedly.
That would kind of contradict with the ending of the manga, wouldn't it?
He's supposedly.
I don't know. I didn't see the end.
He's quote unquote dead, but we don't know for certain.
Okay.
But Negi technically gained immortality.
Immortality being the theme of the series, I imagine he's still alive.
Probably is, but no, it's a good series. Anyways, off topic. We were talking about pervert characters.
So we were, yeah.
And it came into Negima, and yeah. I feel like pervert characters are always the best friend character in things.
Well, like I said, their relationships can't go anywhere because you can't base a story on them.
Unless it's Hyodo Issei.
Well, yeah. Like we said, though, that's the exception.
Like, if you can do it well, fine. Okay. Good job. But if you can't do it well, and most people don't do it well because Japanese culture starkly contrasts with our culture. At
least in that regard, yes.
The main point of a pervert character is that they are an aberration. They are very much different from the norm, is the main point. And as such, they are somewhat ostracized from normal society. A little bit.
What does bother me?
How much is up to you.
But what does bother me is the I see a girl so I nosebleed thing. All the time.
I hate that trope.
I hate it. I absolutely despise it because that doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
It's a very specific medical injury, but I believe it can actually happen. But
but not all the time. Not every time you see a girl.
No, not all the time.
Not like you.
If that actually happened, then no Japanese man would ever be able to.
Not like you
ever.
You like poke a girl in the arm and you suddenly nosebleed and die. That doesn't happen. You don't nosebleed like just by looking at a girl. No. Unless you have some very, very, very serious problems with your inner nostrils.
You know what? I actually like the Persona version with kanji.
Yeah, because
it's... usually in anime you get the blood fountain thing, but with kanji it was kind of subtle where it would just dribble down his, over his lip, and it was actually grosser.
Yeah,
really disturbing, and it was funnier that way.
If you treat it like like what it is. I mean, you're bleeding from your nose. That's not a cute thing.
No, that's fucked up, but it's awesome. And the fountain thing just makes it cartoonish, but...
Kanji was a true man.
Treat it real, then you got a gag there, it works.
But...
It's just the over-the-top thing that keeps happening in fucking anime.
Yeah.
Tone it down a little bit, guys. Subtlety.
And if your character's a pervert, that shouldn't be happening to him. Because he should be used to...
No, he'd kind of be used to it.
Yeah, he'd be like, okay, I'm going to look at girls in the bath again. And like...
Yeah.
I feel like they'd build up a resistance to that. If anything, if they're a real pervert. Yeah, it's not like every time's their first time,
Credit to Jiraiya, I guess. That doesn't happen with him, as far as I know.
Yeah.
He just kind of gets that wide-eyed, stupid smile on his face. But I mean, that's kind of what you expect.
That's fair. That's a fair treatment, a fair reaction, rather. It's just, if you're gonna make a pervert character, make them actually perverted. Don't just make them say, I like girls. Girls, boobs are nice.
I look at porn sometimes.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's
a difference between I think girls are pretty and I want to touch the boobies.
I want to touch them.
Actually, I think everyone wants to touch the boobies, but
Well, yeah.
Between I want to touch the boobies or like I am touching your boobies right now. There's a difference.
Good morning.
Mr. Main Character, won't you let go? Nope. Like there's a difference.
Yeah.
There's like a perverted character would like touch a girl and then and then like go back. He'd be like, touching the girl and she'd be like, I will remove your arm if you keep touching me, and he'll be like, worth it. That's a pervert character.
That brings up another thing. If they're a pervert, don't let them be ashamed by it. Just embrace it. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, people who are openly perverts like that would not be ashamed. They'd be like, good job, me. You died, but you died for a cause worth fighting for.
anyway, we should probably move on to our last topic, which is recommendations.
Goodbye, other topic that we didn't get a chance to do.
Yeah, I'll put it back in the list.
We're doing it first time next time.
Okay, fine. Right. Recommendations?
Alright. I actually have a light novel recommendation. But first I want to just apologize to anybody. If I recommended the Sword Art Online fanfic to anybody and you couldn't find it, it's because it was licensed. And so it's going to be really hard to find. So if you're looking to read that, you're not going to be able to read that unless you really look hard for it. Google search is your friend.
Yeah.
Dude, I have been making the link dump since episode 1. What do you think I've been doing this whole time?
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, for people who ask me where do I find this light novel, where do I find this light novel? If you can't find it...
You tell them the fucking link dump.
Yeah, if you can't find it in the link dump, or if you go to link dump and it's not there, it's because it was probably licensed, and so you're probably going to have to buy it in Japanese and translate yourself. Or maybe, you could look for it somewhere else. I don't know. Anyways, my recommendation this time around is it's a light novel. I think it has an anime. I'm not sure. I think it's getting an anime. But it's Madan no O to Venatus, and I'll link that in a little bit.
Madan no O. Found it.
All right.
And basically, the premise of this is that the main character was an earl of this area of land, and he goes to war and with the back of the troops, and he uses a bow, but everybody in his entire country hates the bow. It's the one weapon they absolutely hate because they think it's cowardly, and every other country thinks they're stupid because dude, the bow is awesome, but no, bow is dishonorable and stupid. He lives in the one country that hates the bow, and he's good with the bow, so he is sent to the back, and basically the other army just starts crushing them, and they're losing, and he gets pulled into the battle, and he ends up impressing this person who's a fanatic, and they're like the super-powered heroine character, but and he ends up becoming like a prisoner of war and forming a relationship with that country, and then going back to fight the people in his country who keep trying to take his own territory. And one of the reasons why I would recommend this is that, first of all, it is going to be harem, but there's a good reason for why he doesn't pick somebody, and that's because he's in a war right now, and he's really busy with everything.
Priorities are important.
Kind of a priority thing.
Yeah, it's a priority thing, which is a nice explanation. and on the other hand, he uses a bow, but a lot of this is reliable. A lot of this requires tactics. It's not like, okay, we've got 2 super-powered people, so we're going to go take out an army of 100,000. It's like, we need people. We need soldiers. We need to have morale up.
Yeah.
And it focuses a lot on...
Sounds kind of like Kingdom in that aspect.
I keep reading this, and I keep thinking, oh, it's like Kingdom. because he's an amazing archer, but they admit, one archer is not going to destroy an entire army. So it's your job to take out the commanders, because you can snipe people from very far away, because you're awesome.
Yeah, unless you're like Fate Stay Night level of powerful, that's not gonna happen.
No, and they acknowledge that fact. It's like you take out the enemy commanders, you crush their morale, and then our soldiers go in and get them, and that's mainly how you're going to be able to fight, because you're not like one of these superpowered people with like a magic weapon or whatever. So
I suppose he's at an advantage, because if he's fighting his old country, then they're not going to snipe back. He's the only one with a bow.
Yeah, but then like there's invaders from other countries that join in, because he's in a civil war.
Naturally.
So there is that. But
Sounds
it is awesome. I like it. Like at first, you think it takes a little while to get going, because the first light novel it's rather short, but it's mainly focusing around him getting ingratiated with the people who kidnapped him and kind of becoming their friend and kind of displaying his skill with a bow. And then he hears his land is under attack by one of the two main factions of his country. And then he enters in with their army, saves his town, and starts recruiting more and more people and like using actual tactics. And I like it, because it's war tactics. It's like we're going to use carts and stuff to make people think we have more people than we do, so that when we attack them and start killing a bunch of their people, they think we have more people than we do. Because the commander is farther off, so he's not going to be able to tell them, "Hey, dudes, this is a trap." So it's like I like the war tactics in it, and I do like the main character.
Okay. Wrap it up.
All right. Okay, that's my recommendation.
We're 2 minutes over the hour. It's fine.
Zero, Slicer, anyone's got any?
I got 2, actually. One's more of an anti-fic rec, and it ties into what we were talking about before. Achikabe no Shinobi by the Engulfing Silence.
Ooh.
Naruto basically replaces Minato. And the thing that irritates me so very much about it is the first few chapters have borderline limes, or borderline lemons, they're limes. And after that, the romance and the lust part of the romance relationship just completely drops off. It turns into harem hijinks after that, and it's ridiculous. So, kind of an anti-fic rec for that.
I was actually reading that for a while, so I know what you're talking about.
I didn't like that one.
Mm-hmm. The actual fic rec, though, and I'm hesitant to do this one because it's not that great. It's just a little fuel. It's a Naruto fanfic. Kushina and Minato survive, and Naruto has a sister. For once, it's not incest. It's weird. Not used to seeing that. But
there's no
Naruto
incest. It's weird. What has society become?
I know, right?
He's not wrong.
Yeah. Anyway, Naruto is distorted in a similar way to Shiro. Not the I want to be a hero way. He can sense negative emotions, and he really enjoys them. So he encourages despair in people.
Ooh.
So yeah, he's a little monster. And it's
okay.
It has its really good moments, because when Naruto's not being a blank slate, he's very entertaining. I mean, he's a horrible human being, but it's really good. So
that sounds interesting. It sounds like a sort of villain take on the whole, what was his mythological counterpart? Was it Ashura or Indra?
I think it was Ashura.
Okay, so it's sort of a villain take on the Ashura thing, which is odd because I'm pretty sure Ashura was sort of a destructive force. But I'm not exactly up on mythology, but it's an interesting inversion of the whole concept of what he ended up being in the end game.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, it's pretty much the exact opposite. A little more literal, since he can actually sense emotions and...
Well, he could do that by the end of the series anyway, but yeah.
Oh. Yeah, alright. Any other recommendations?
I have...
Ken, you got anything?
I have nothing, really.
Oh.
In my defense, I am hungover. And it's bad now.
Yeah. I just keep watching
the eggs and water.
I woke up
coffee.
like 30 minutes.
As I'm talking right now, I am watching Antonio Brown drop kick the punter over and over and over again, and it is glorious.
Well, it's only like 15 seconds of video, so
I
you
know.
can watch it and enjoy it
I'm
all
just
day.
watching it in an endless loop, and it is it is fantastic.
There's
Okay.
better
Right.
angles of that, by the way.
My recommendation is which one? I did read some more, by the way, so I've got 3 more in reserve. First one, is the only one I'm going to do this episode, is A Demon Among Devils. Not to be confused with Devil Among Devils, which I've recommended before.
Mhm.
This one is a Persona crossover with High School DxD.
Which Persona?
3.
Ooh,
Ah, all right.
that's my forte.
It is.
Yeah. So Minato is actually, he acts very much like Yu Narukami does in the original Persona 4 animation, just very bland and flat, but in a funny way.
Right. Okay. The deadpan, kind of just a little bit
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So basically, he becomes the Great Seal and stuff, and then he comes back, he's not entirely sure how, ends up in High School DxD, obviously. Different world, all of his friends are gone. And he's still superpowered. He is the representation of the potential of humanity, because he still has all of his personas.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now, some of his personas, if you may remember, included, let's see, Satan,
Ooh,
Lucifer,
ooh, okay, that's
Beelzebub.
okay.
Yeah, a lot of
Okay,
the
that-
big
that's a
names in
combo
heaven and
right
hell,
there.
and they actually exist
Michael,
in that universe, or did at one
Gabriel,
point.
Uriel. Was it canon
get
that
dropped out the
Metatron was
call.
actually
Yeah.
a persona? Yeah. Metatron,
Crap.
which is a big fucking deal because in High School DxD, I'm pretty sure Metatron is dead.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh yeah, I read that. I know what you're talking about now.
yeah, so it becomes a pretty significant thing that he has all of these characters in his head very quickly, because they take on the personalities of the universe that they're in. So the Metatron in his head basically becomes the Metatron of High School DxD.
Ooh.
It's pretty amazing.
Oh man.
Yeah, so this is definitely a good one to read if you are... It's not especially important that you know anything about Persona. It's... The bare bones of it are explained well enough. Most of the characters in it are non-existent. They don't exist anymore. The only significant thing is the relationships he had with them. He was in a relationship with Mitsuru in the game's timeline, and that ended badly, and you might imagine why that might have repercussions in the High School DxD universe, that he had a relationship with a buxom redhead.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely a good story. I definitely recommend this one. This one is pretty exceptional.
I'll back it up.
You've read this one?
Yes.
Oh, surprising. It being a Persona thing. Yeah, so, check it out, absolutely. Go for it. Enjoy. And I guess that does it for episode 51, the first anniversary of the Fandom Flux podcast. I'm going to do something.
What you can do?
It's going to make us go over a little bit, but I want to do it anyway. I just need to find something real
It's
quick.
fine. At
Oh,
this rate,
God.
my Audacity is going to crash anyways as soon as we end this.
Currently, we have 99 subscribers. And if I can, I would like to name them if I can find a list somewhere.
You can find them. Go to your channel, and then click on the subscribers. Look at where it says your number of subscribers in the top left.
It doesn't say in the top left. It says in the
You know where above where it says
top
all
right.
it says 103 views, then video manager, then so and so subscribers, or the view count and then the video manager. I'm looking at my channel right now as a reference point.
Okay. Where is this?
Go to click.
So video manager.
No, just go to my channel, and it should have where your picture is and add channel art. And then above where it says add channel art, there should be 3 options. One of which says your number of subscribers. And then click on that. It should bold when you click on it, or put your mouse on it.
Ah, there we go. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It just goes to fucking. I was going to read out the list of every subscriber that we have. Well, 99 of them. I can't find it, and it's taking too long.
Click on my channel, and then right above.
There is no my channel
on YouTube. Yes, on the far left, it should say what to watch. My channel, my subscriptions, history, watch later. On the left.
Those I've never used those. So okay, right.
Let's try this again.
Let's try this again.
My channel. Then
the number of subscribers right above your icon.
Okay, right. So, from the top. Master 157, Boy by Fresh. Slow, this was a terrible idea. Clay Shiver, Patrick Taylor, WTF Gamer 333, Hero Gat X, Careful Healer 21, Lockin West, Marine Sniper with numbers because you're an idiot, Jake Boy 11J. What the fuck is wrong with these people in spellings? Mike Diaz, Yuto Kaguroza, John Nguyen. Yeah, that's... King and Commoner. Islith... I fucking hate our fans. I hate them.
We love you guys. We love you guys. Don't ignore him.
Yeah.
Deter Langley Tone. LG Other. Slicinus. What's up, dude? The one only 88. Ganondorf's son. Really?
What's your name?
They call me
Minidorf?
Arjun. The Mr. Ham 1 Lin. I are the smartiest. Smiley face. Or anime face, technically. Tyler Halston. Professor Cubert. The Sleeping Meerkat. Anko. Okay, that's intimidating. Magic Man 111111. A random guy, Neil Nandu.
Yay.
Nice to see you. Chaos 341, Guardian Lettuce.
Yes.
Alex Shepard 95. The sky's delimit. Yes, delimit. Thank you. Getsemane Quiroz. James Hamilton. Moises Curiel. Ethan F. Different Ethan, by the way, before you ask. Wes Ehrman. Michael Diaz. Hinamori 102. Sid B. Hokkaido Master. Maka 673. Saiso Sai. The Max Mercury 100. Justin Castle. Blackie 3001. Resden the 83rd. Nice to see you, Resden.
He subscribed to me
Bleach
with Neil Nandu and Boy
2121XX. Smugged Troll. I didn't say anything about Boy Fresh, did I?
Yeah, you
Sorry.
mentioned him. You
Boy
mentioned him.
Fresh,
He was
you're
the
awesome.
second name.
Matthew Hargreaves. Katrin Bisiani. Daniel Lancaster. Grokamol. Tino Sanchez. Richard Grant. Halduros. A. Nieto. Arabic name. Jacob Giblin. I can't read that, I'm sorry. Trey Bray. Slebbers. Seth LL7, I think. Player 0874. That's everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We that's everyone? I was expecting that to go a little bit longer, but you know what? There's always next year.
99 subscribers. You wanted to go longer? Are you fucking kidding me?
Maybe next year we can switch off every now and then.
No,
Next
Casey
year,
has to
I
do
will
it
just
every.
make an entire video that is just that, and not make it a podcast episode, because we have gone 15 minutes over right now.
Casey has to do it every year because he hates things, and his reactions are great.
Okay, so I would like to thank everybody for listening to the Fandom Flux podcast for one whole year. If you would like to get in contact with us, you can do so through the Blogspot page through the comments, or our own personal profiles on fanfiction.net, or through the YouTube channel through the comments. Please donate on Patreon once I get it sorted out. Once again, I would like to thank everybody for listening to the Fandom Flux podcast for 1 year, and specifically for episode 51. Bye now.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.